We can't go to Mommy's funeral. We have to do what we're told.
We want to see Mom. Grandpa can't impress us.
Some say love.
Right now, this is your first real test. Remember your training.
They have hot dogs.
What's cola?
Poison water.
No, every film has its own issues. The issues in this film, well, and those issues are always, no matter what the film is, it's time and money, and there's never enough of both. But in this movie, I would say the particular issues were we have 6 kids and Viggo in every scene. So if you want to photograph every line that everyone says, that's a lot of coverage. We say coverage in English, right? That's hard. Children can only work so many hours because of child labor laws, so that's a challenge because the youngest ones especially can only work a few hours a day. It's a road movie, so every day we're in a different location. Many of those locations are in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, so you get up in the middle of the night to go there, and then you have to, hike up to so that's hard. We're in 2 states. There's 2 musical numbers where the kids have to learn and sing and play songs, and there's 2 stunts with the kids. So, I mean, the truth is every movie has its own issues, but those were our issues. All of it is real. There's one thing that's not real, and that's that Charlie does not play the harmonica that well. But else, that's her singing in the song "Sweet Child of Mine." They're all singing actually. Nicholas plays the drums. Sheree plays the tambourine. George plays the guitar. Viggo plays the guitar. It's all real. Especially "Sweet Child of Mine," it's all real except for the mom. I didn't think of it as pretentious. I don't think being a critical thinker or loving literature or caring about literature or having discussions that are not superficial is pretentious. I don't know what it's a pretense for, they don't feel, I guess if they were cruel or condescending, then I would say it was maybe pretentious, but I don't see it that way. I mean, maybe someone does, but I don't. No. There's no perfect parent, there's no perfect parenting. I always say we're all stumbling along in the dark. There's no guidebook that tells you. There are many books you can read about how to raise kids, and it changes, how you parent a toddler is completely different than how you have to deal with a teenage girl or a teenage boy or adolescents. And so I think we're always adjusting and changing, and I've read that in terms of one universal thing that's important is boundaries shows love in a way. That I think that when people are overly permissive, a mistake that a lot of parents make, I think, is they try and be their kid's best friend, and that clearly doesn't work. You show love by boundaries and discipline, but that doesn't mean that you're cruel. It just means that you have rules. I didn't convince him. I mean, you'd have to ask him that question, but I've heard him say that he wants to be in movies that he would go see. And so he read this, we sent it to him, he read it, we had a long discussion about it, and we had a long dialogue about it for many months, and I think he chose it because obviously he liked it, and you'd have to ask him specifically why, but I'd like to make a Star Wars movie. I love Star Wars. But I'm not really looking for that, honestly. I want to make things that I write and that are important and personal to me. And it used to be that Hollywood would hire European directors and force them to make their shit. I don't know if you could say that. Hire Hollywood directors and force them to make their crap. And then after a while, you'd be like, what happened to that guy or that woman who made that amazing movie? And there's a version of that happens now where they take indie directors and then you can't see that person in that movie anymore. And I don't really want to do that, I think. I mean, that's not to say that I wouldn't make a bigger film or a movie that takes place in another universe or that's a tentpole film. I think if you can tell those films are very hard to make. And if you can make it well and you can bring something personal to it, and if they allow that to happen, then maybe. But for the time being, I'm not really looking for that, So.
Sincerely hope you haven't been doing what I think you've been doing.
Your daughter has taught me many things just now. Will you be my wife?
Broke my heart with sticks.
Unless it comes out of a book, I don't know anything!
Swore I'm never
Even if they make it through whatever it is you're doing to them, they're going to be totally unprepared for the real world.
And I happen to think the opposite is true.
It's child abuse.
That almost hit me.
If I wanted to hit you, I would.